Today, I'm going to break down why commission checks alone are going to keep most agents broke and they're not going to be able to survive. Okay, there's a lot of different ways that you could be making money in real estate, but the unfortunate thing is that you only know of one. And I'm not talking about, just creating a downline or starting a team or selling, leads to other agents or referrals, right? Those are things that you're already aware of, and I'll talk about that a little bit briefly. But the main thing that I want to share with you is two other big ways that you could be making money in real estate that are going to help you tremendously. One of those ways is going to help you get paid up front. Okay, so regardless, if the person ever buys or sells a home, you are going to get paid. So that sounds pretty exciting if you ask me. And then secondly, I'm going to show you how to get paid after the transaction every single year. So instead of having to worry about your income resetting every single year, I'm going to show you a model where we can structure your business in a way that every year you make more money because it's stacking on the previous year's income. So let's get right into it. Now, really quick, for those that don't know me, my name is Kenneth. I've been a realtor since 2019, primarily in El Paso, Texas. Now, my background is in digital marketing. So a lot of what I do is take the modern age marketing tactics and bring it into the dinosaur of an industry that is real estate, because it's ran by people who have been in the business 20, 30 years, and honestly are getting played out really, really fast. I've sold homes in hot markets during COVID, and we've been able to stay profitable even in slower markets as interest rates have continued to climb. So I'm not teaching you theory. This isn't something I've never done before. I've sold a couple dollars here and there of digital products online, all online, in-person events, live coaching, and the greatest thing is that all of that has been done in the real estate industry specifically. So there's a lot of people that try to train people in, hey, I sold on webinars, or I sold on this, I sold on that in different industries. They don't know what it's like to be in the trenches, to be a realtor. So I'm going to bring you some unique perspectives that hopefully shine a light on something that'll help you break through to the next level. Okay, so number one is commissions, right? That's already the way that you know how to make money. But the problem is that if you close, you get paid. And if you don't get paid, right? So it's pretty self-explanatory as to why that's a problem. Not to mention, but you're resetting every single year. Yes, your clients are going to send you referrals, and you're going to grow that way. And as your database grows, eventually you're going to get these I don't want to say hand me down, but like layup deals where you really didn't have to do a whole lot of work for them. They kind of just hit you up because they know you've been an agent for years, or you helped them buy a home 3-4 years ago and now they're coming to sell. So the real issue with this is that there's no stability, right? And there's no stacking of income, which is crucial if you want to last in this industry. Okay, so what do most people do once they start making 100 grand a year, 200 grand a year, 400 grand a year, right? They start to think about expansion, right? This is where the next steps come, which like you hire an assistant, maybe you bring on a buyer's agent, a showing partner, or maybe you start a team, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. We have a micro team versus me, another agent, a TC and an admin, right? They do admin work, a VA. And so that's great. And then some people say, I want to take it further. I want to, start a brokerage, or I want to start a downline at EXP or Real or one of these other brokerages that offers income benefits for recruiting people into the company, right? You get stock, you get revenue bonuses, etc. So those are great, right? But really the problem is that you're still dependent solely on closings. So even if you grow a team, your team still got to close. If not, you're not getting paid, right? So how do we actually solve this no matter what model we're going for? Okay, so that is where things really get interesting. So listen, here's the second way to make money in real estate that nobody ever talks about, okay? What we want is a front-end offer that is ideally low ticket, okay? I'm talking $9 to $29, maybe even $49 or $97, depending on how valuable your offer is in the marketplace. And we want to make this offer on the front end before they ever buy or sell a house, because it's going to help us cover our advertising costs up front. Okay, so this could be a paid buyer workshop, a home buying course, a first-time home buyers course, a home selling course. It could be consulting, right? It could be digital products. So let me give you an example, right? You can come up with a home buying course, a home selling course, where you teach all of the knowledge that you've developed over the last 2, 5, 10 years, however long you've been in real estate. The problem is that everybody is so afraid to package their knowledge and simply slap a price tag on it. So I'm going to get tactical with you for a second and show you, how do you actually do this? Like, how do you actually make front end offers where people are now paying you, $9, $27, $97 for your digital product? And by the way, not only is it great because you're making money up front, but guess what? You're also getting a super qualified lead that's willing to literally pay and invest into their education for buying, selling a home, or investing in real estate, right? That is a massive market, the investment space. So it doesn't even just have to be, secondary and tertiary home buyers. You could sell to people who want to invest in real estate and who want to learn more. And guess what? You as the buyer's agent can help them buy houses. So you're double dipping, right? All right, so let's get tactical. So tactically, first you got to come up with a great offer. Okay. Now it really depends on your ideal avatar, right? Your ICP, your ideal client profile. You want to know, who do you want to target, right? One of the lies that we've been sold is that you should target everybody. All of your friends, all of your family, whether they're buying, selling, investing, new construction, resale, multifamily, commercial, whatever. It doesn't matter. You're their go-to for everything, which is just not good, because now you're just like everybody else who stands on a street sign and says, buy, sell, invest, right? That's not what you want. You want to be the go-to guy for one thing. Now, how do you actually figure that out, right? How do you actually figure out, well, who should I target? Who should I go after? Because one of the issues with niching down is that if you niche down in the wrong sector, well, you're going to have a hard time, my friend, because different avatars, different types of buyers, first-time home buyers, second-time, third-time investors, whatever, they're all buying at different rates, right? At different speeds, at different amounts of volume, depending on what the market is doing and depending on your market specifically. So if you want to learn, how do I find the ideal pocket of buyers that I should be targeting? Should I go after first-time home buyers, second-time home buyers? Should I go after downsizers, upsizers, investors, right? Then I have a full training on this. So if you comment the word hotspot, I'll send you the link so you could watch the training absolutely for free. I actually charge for that inside of a paid program, which I'm not going to talk about because this is just here to help you. But I charge for it. Okay. And I'm going to give that to you for free. So once you've identified who is your ideal person, now you got to come up with an offer that they would find valuable. So I'll give you an example of one of mine. So we have a relocation bundle. Okay. And this relocation bundle is geared specifically for military personnel that is moving into my city. Okay. So I already know what their pain points are. They have no friends or family. They have no idea where the best restaurants are, where the best school districts are, where are all the fun activities? Do I have a family? Am I single? Right? Am I married? Right? Where are the best school zones? Where are the biggest parks? Like strategically, where do I want to be? Because El Paso, my city, it's a border town, right? And so there's big advantages to being right next to two borders. We have Mexico and New Mexico to our north. Okay. And so that is going to influence their decision greatly, right? Depending on what their priority are or what their priorities are. A single dude is going to have different priorities from a military man who's married with 2 kids and really cares about safety and school zones. So these are all unanswered questions in their mind. So one of the things that is included in our relocation bundle is a neighborhood comparison guide, where it literally shows them, hey, based on your priorities, whether it's schools or safety or commute to work, we're going to show you which are the best neighborhoods that you should be looking at and what your purchasing power looks like in those areas. Okay. So identify your avatar, figure out what are all the problems, pain points, and questions that they have, and then find a way to package that, right? I'll give you another quick example. A lot of them, they're moving here. They've never been here, but when they arrive, they want to have the house ready, right? They don't want to arrive and then live on base or live in a motel or an Airbnb with their family and have all their stuff, right? They want to get here, already have the perfect house in the area that they want, at the price that they want, at a monthly payment that they can afford, and just move in. So How do we do that? Well, obviously the answer is virtual tours, right? We could do that through FaceTime, or we could make videos for them that we upload on YouTube and then they could watch at their own discretion, right? But just because you do something, it's not valuable to the market until you communicate it to the market, okay? How many realtors out there can make property tour videos for a client? All of them, okay? But none of them communicate that they do that. And so we created the virtual home tour pass, right? Where it's basically a pass where we will take our energy, time, and assets to go out to the properties for them, record videos, make it very detailed. And we'll do this again for inspections and make sure that they know every inch of the house. They know what it looks like, what the neighborhood looks like, the parks nearby, what their commute is going to look like, drive times, school zones, everything. They are going to know everything before they move in. Okay. Now that's stuff that any agent would do, but until you package it and market it to your ideal audience, it doesn't matter. Okay. It just doesn't matter, right? One of the biggest questions that they have as well is, should I buy a resale or should I buy new construction? Well, if they're going to be moving in 2 years, right? Because the military is going to ship them off somewhere else, they probably shouldn't go with a new construction home unless they're going to keep it long term. Maybe they're going to rent it or Airbnb out. That changes the strategy a little bit, right? But one of the worst things to, have a client deal with is like, hey, Ken, we need to sell our home. We've only been here 18 months. There's no equity. They're negative. They're upside down on their mortgage. And now I got to be the one to break the news to say, hey, if you sell it, unless we get $30,000 or $40,000 above asking price, which really isn't happening in this market, you're going to need to come out of pocket to sell this house. Okay. And so that's why we build a comparison guide to show them what are the pros and cons of each, because it's going to depend on how long they're going to stay here and what their plans are after they leave. Are they going to immediately try to sell it? Are they going to be willing to be landlords or be an Airbnb host? Because it sounds cool. Like, yeah, I'm an Airbnb host. Like, I've worked closely with people who have Airbnbs, and it's not all rainbows and sunshines. It's really not. You're on call. You got to be there if they're having issues getting into the house, or they break something, or they take pets when they shouldn't have had pets. And now, they peed on the couch, and now I got to get that cleaned. And my cleaning lady left all the house lights on, so the electric bill's high this month. Or there was a leak, nobody noticed, and my water bill is through the roof, right? It's not all glitz and glamour. Okay, so we make those offers, and now how do you actually go out into the marketplace and validate the offer? Well, you could post about it organically, or you could run paid ads, which is my favorite way to do it because what I have the most experience with. So to me, it's just like accelerates my my feedback loop, right? To know, are people actually claiming this? And so what you could do is start for free. Just advertise it, talk about it, publicize it for free. Okay. If you can't get 30 to 50 people to pick this up from you for free, right? Either A, your targeting is bad, meaning you're not putting it in front of the right people, or B, the offer is not good. You're communicating with jargon. You're saying things and positioning things in a way that is not appealing to your ideal audience. Okay. So you need to speak in their language and say things in a way that they would find it like an attractive offer. Okay. So once you validate the offer, okay, and you've gotten 30 to 50 people to claim your free thing, now you could run ads to it and charge for it. Start with $9 and then go to 19 and then go to 27. Now you're going to notice a certain amount of drop off in your conversion rate, right? At $9, maybe you're converting 12% of traffic. At $29, maybe you're only converting 3% of traffic. And then at 47 or 97, you're only converting 0.5% of traffic. And that's where you'll have to do the math to see, where do I want to be? Because the goal with this, even though you can make a lot of money profitably with digital products in real estate, which I have done, that's really not the goal. Like, the goal is really not to make a bunch of money off of the $97 bundle that you're selling. If you do, and you have a good enough offer, and you have a large TAM, like a total addressable market, where you can actually scale the thing, right? Which I'm about to tell you in step 3, how to scale it, right? To people who have never even worked with you before, even if they're not planning on buying or selling a home anytime soon, you can still make those homeowners an offer and that they buy. And guess what? Now you're also building a huge database of homeowners. So stay tuned for that. But really the goal is not to be profitable. If you are, kudos to you. The goal is to break even on your marketing cost. If you can spend $200 and make $200 back, and in the same process acquire 5, 10, 50 leads, whatever it is, that is amazing, because now you're getting high quality leads, okay, that have literally just invested money into learning how to buy or sell a home, okay? And on top of that, guess what? How would you feel if, in the good old days when Steve Jobs was at Apple, you bought an iPhone at the Apple store, and then immediately, as soon as you power the thing on and connect it, you get a call, and then you answer. It's like, hey, it's Steve Jobs. Just wanted to say thanks for picking up the latest model of the iPhone 37 Pro, whatever, That'd be awesome. You'd actually kind of be excited to hear from this person because you just invested money into their company. That type of conversation with a client when they just invested into your profit maximizing seminar, on how to sell homes for more money in less time. When they get a call from you, they're excited to hear from you because they invested, right? They're now bought in, versus they just claimed a freebie online. It wasn't even about you or anything. They just claimed the freebie, and now a random person's calling them. Okay. So 2 totally different worlds, but you're getting leads for free. That's the goal. Now, there's a lot of pessimists out there. A lot of people don't know how to make good offers, which is fine. But let's just say you only made half of it back, or you only made a third of it back, right? You spent $100, but you only made, one $30 sale. Well, would you rather have a third of your ad spend up front covered, or would you like to make at least half of your ad spend back up front, or nothing? Because that's what you get back right now. You spend money on advertising and you make nothing back, nothing, until the deal closes. I'm at least showing you a way where there is a chance that you could make some money back. Okay. And I just thought of this because this is one of the things that we do, because I'm telling you, I actually do this stuff. I'm not just reading a book or I saw a YouTube video and now I'm trying to tell you to do it. One of the things that I personally do that works really well, and I've split tested this, is that you could just take them directly to the offer page, okay? Or you can offer them a free lead magnet, which then bumps them into the order form, into the offer. So I'll give you an example. Let's say we're selling a home selling course, right? How to sell your home for more money in less time, right? And it's this whole bundle that gives them, 15 things that's going to help them sell their home faster. Like checklists, guides, and PDFs, and videos, and resources, and communities, and access, exclusivity, right? All this cool stuff. But the front end offer, what you run an ad to, is a staging guide, right? How to stage your home to make 10K more the next time you sell, right? Whatever. I'm just thinking out loud here. Okay. So you offer this staging guide for free, right? They click on the link, it goes to a landing page, and you just collect their name and email, right? Super low friction. And then boom, you email them the guide. And on the next page, as soon as they claimed it, it says at the top, hey, congratulations, your staging guide or whatever it is on its way. But if you want this, if you like the staging guide, here's the entire bundle that helped Rebecca sell her home for $30,000 more than fair market value, or whatever testimonial you have. I have testimonials like that, but you may not. So if you don't, that's fine. You could just say, if you like the staging guide, why not get the whole bundle for only $27? And then boom, it shows them they're going to get the staging guide and the, how to ask for feedback and the tips for before every showing, and, how to attract more buyers, an open house tour or an open house guide, or, how to send mailers. I mean, literally everything that you do as an agent can be packaged in some way, shape, or form and put into your bundle. Okay. Right. So for example, staging is one thing, But if you don't take good photos with good lighting and good exposure, they're not going to look good and people are not going to want to come and see your house, right? You know that. So it could be one of the things is like a video on how to professionally take professional photos of your house with just your iPhone. That's cool. That's valuable to them. Okay. You also know that if they overprice the house, they're not going to get any showings. Nobody's going to come. All right. We know that they don't. Right. So now we can also bundle and you always want to you can use AI to kind of come up with cool names that are consumer friendly. So when they read it, they know what it is, right? You don't want to sell it's like a pricing strategy guide, right? On how to price their home, but you're calling it like the maximum liquidation equation. It's like, what the hell is that? I don't know, but it does, but whatever, that's not what you want. You don't want to create confusion. What you want to do is label it, even if the name doesn't sound good, but the name is clear on what it is. Like, I know what that is, right? That's what you want to go for. And it could be a video or a PDF or an Excel sheet, right? That shows them, hey, based on you type in your address, it'll tell you what fair market value is. And then it'll tell you, depending on your pricing strategy, whether you want to be aggressive, maybe sell it not because you have to, but because you want to, and you just want to price it aspirationally high, it could guide them on where they should be, what range they should be in, depending on their strategy on how fast they want to sell. Okay. You could package that and that be part of your bundle. So I hope your mind is kind of like, oh my gosh, there's so much more I can do. Right. But we've been so accustomed to this is just what we do. It's just commission checks. And, I got my move up guide. I got my, home selling checklist or whatever, lead magnet that nobody ever claims and nobody ever desires because it's, really not that exciting. Not to mention, I can't even get many consumers to actually look at the dang thing. But you could literally spend $1 a day, $30 a month, or $100 a month, or $500. I mean, we spend thousands a month on ads. But we didn't start there. We started with just a couple $100 a month. And you could force exposure to your offer, to your lead magnet, and you'll know within the first 200 to 300 people if it's valuable or not. You'll know because you'll see your conversion rate, right? So that is the front end section. Now, I also mentioned that there's a back end part of this, right? So get them on the front end. We just talked about that. Hopefully they do a deal with you and you get paid that way too. And now let's move on to back end. So the back end is either A, they've already bought or sold a house from you in the past. B, they just recently closed on a house with you. Or C, they've actually have no idea who you are. They've never claimed any of your lead magnets or anything like that. But it's somebody that is a homeowner that you still want to get into your database and still want to make an offer to, because guess what? They're a homeowner, and most homeowners only stay in the house 3 to 5 years on average, at least in my market. Okay. So you could be building a database and providing value to them and put them in a community and nurture them. And all of a sudden, when they're ready to sell, you're their guy or you're their girl. Okay, so let's dive deeper into back-end offers. Okay, so this is a third way to make money in real estate. By the way, there's hundreds of them. Okay, but I just want to give you some of the most valuable ones that have really shaped our business. Okay, so what I love about these back-end offers is that it allows you to build yearly recurring revenue. Okay, yearly recurring revenue, which is what you want, right? If I told you, hey, would you rather make, $5K 1 month, nothing for 2 months, and then you make 15 grand in the month after that, but then you don't make anything for a few months, and then you make 30K, super inconsistent. You never know when your next check is going to come, which is really stressful, right? Or you're going to make $10,000 a month every month consistently like clockwork. And if you close an extra deal or two, that's just gravy, right? That's just the icing on the cake, the cherry on top. You'd be foolish not to pick that option. Okay. And whether you're a brand new agent or super established, you should still be using this to build your business because it doesn't cost you anything. You've already acquired the customer when you're pitching to clients that have just recently bought a house from you. Okay. And if that client, let's say you messed up, you didn't touch base with them for a while, you reach out 6 months later and they're like, oh, hey, sorry, I already bought a house. You can still make them this offer. Okay. Now, I'm going to give you one of the offers that we make. And what it is our platinum program, right? Our platinum program. So this is where we take our clients and we essentially become like a amazing concierge service for them that helps them lower their property taxes. So here in Texas, every year you get a letter in the mail that says, hey, this is what the city is saying your house is worth. P.S. It's always higher every year. And they say, because your house is now worth more money, we're going to charge you more in taxes. And see, most homeowners think, well, that's just what it is. That's just what I have to pay. Most homeowners don't even know that you could contest that. And you could say, hey, no, look, my house isn't as updated as these new constructions that they just built last year. It's got holes in the wall. It's got no tile, right? It's got the backyard isn't even finished. It's an older roof, right? You could show all these things to say my house is worth less so that they lower your property taxes, or at the very least, don't raise them on you. Okay. And so this on average saves our clients, it could be anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 a year. Sometimes it's less, but on average, we see at least like about $1,000 a year in savings for the client, which is really nice because that's literally it. It lowers their monthly payment on their mortgage every single year, which is really cool. And they love that. Okay. We also help them just like recalculate their insurance every single year. So we partner with an insurance agency that they're an insurance broker. So like they don't work with like State Farm or Allstate, like one insurance company. They're a broker. So they can literally just type in my name. And let's say I want car insurance. They type in my name, they run it through their database, and they'll tell me, out of hundreds of companies, who are the 3 that are going to give me the best coverage for the lowest price. All right. And so our agent does that with them every single year. And the agent's happy to do it because they make money off of the policy. Right. So that's another service that we offer. We also send them a maintenance checklist every single year. We've partnered up with local contractors, HVAC, plumbing, general contractors, roofers, so that anytime our clients need something, whether it's maintenance on their AC, we'll give them tips and structures on how to do it themselves. But we'll also refer them to our clients that are going to give them a bonus or a referral or a discount, right? And so, for example, HVACs should be maintenance once a year, right? The refrigerated air units should be maintenance every year. Their roofs should be maintenance every year. A lot of people don't do this, but the penetrations on your roof, the little pipes and stuff that's sticking out, those are holes in your roof. And the sealant around the edges of those, especially like in my market, it's super hot. So it cools in the night, and then with the heat, it expands and it creates cracks. Those cracks lead to water damage because now water has a way to get into that through that penetration. So every year those need to be sealed up, and just to make sure that everything's good, right? Every year we help them with this stuff. Okay. And then we'll also let them know of like, hey, there's this new restaurant. We got, some reservations for Valentine's Day. If you want to take one of the 5 reservations that we made, you're welcome to take one, right? They get access to certain perks and certain events, certain giveaways, especially around the holidays. And so let's just say 200 people, right? Let's just say you can get 200 people paying you $500 a year, right? For this service. Okay. 200 people a year paying you 200 people paying you $500 a year. That's $100,000 a year extra. Okay. Extra. And every time you close a deal, you should be making that offer to your clients. And guess what? That is going to stack every single year. Now you may be saying, oh, Ken, well, I don't have 200 clients. I haven't sold 200 houses. And guess what? Even if you sold 200 houses, not every single one of your clients is going to buy that package anyways. They should, because the way we frame it is like, look, just the savings on the property taxes alone, you're gonna save, right? And if we don't save you at least $600 on your annual taxes, then you can get a refund. And so they're guaranteed to save money. It's like those coupon books, right? I don't know if you've ever seen those, but there's these coupon books that you can get, and it's like a free drink and a free pizza when you buy a large or whatever. Those are like guaranteed savings on things that they have to have insurance. By law, they got to have insurance on their car. If their house isn't paid off, they got to have insurance on the house, right? So, and like by law, they have to pay property taxes. This isn't something that I'm saying like it's something they don't need, right? Like the security system, it's optional, but if they get it through us, they get all of their equipment for free. So they just have to worry about their subscription. But because we've made a partnership with one of the companies, they get all of the equipment for free. And it covers like 8 cameras, the panel, motion sensors, sensors at every window, all that stuff. It's free. So hopefully this has got your brain spinning. And even if the 200 clients that you have don't buy it, I mean, you're starting to build recurring revenue. And because it's on a yearly model instead of a monthly model, churn, which is like the percentage of people that cancel it, is very, very low. Is very low because it's once a year. And so when they look back on the year of value that they've gotten, it seems worth it. But when it's a month, and yeah, the first month they got lower insurance, and then, you know, maybe the second month they needed to get their roof maintenance and they got a discount on that, but they're seeing the bill every month, it's just not going to do good because, you know, they can only battle their taxes once a year, right? And so that model, charging per year, reduces churn as well. So think about it this way. You are going to close these deals regardless, okay? You are going to close these deals regardless. And even if 10%, because you have no sales skills, only 10% of your clients end up signing on to this package, which if you did a good job, they already know, like, and trust you. They just bought a home. It's like if they just bought a printer, right? They're going to want some ink to go with that, right? Or like the additional warranties that we buy on our vehicles, or like when we buy an electronic off an Amazon, and it's like, hey, do you want 2 or 3 years of protection for an extra $10? It's like nothing compared to the overall price of the product, right? So let's just say only 10% of people. Well, at least now you have something. You're getting an extra few $1,000s a year. If I just said, hey, every year, can I send you $3,000? You wouldn't say no, right? And so what if you're like, well, I've never closed a deal before. I'm a brand new agent. I've never closed a deal. Well, guess what? You don't just have to sell it to your existing clients. You could sell that offer to every single homeowner in your market. There's not a single homeowner in my market that doesn't want lower property taxes. There's not. And so let's say I start advertising it and selling my, now I probably wouldn't call it my platinum client membership because they're not my clients, but I could call it the homeowner savings bundle or something like that. I'd come up with a cool name using AI. And now I can sell it to every single homeowner. And guess what? As I'm making money from the ad revenue that's covering my costs up front, guess what? Now, after a year or 2 or 3, I've built a database of hundreds of homeowners that I'm helping every year get lower insurance, save on their property taxes, find out the best ins and outs of the city, the best restaurants, get discounts here with this contractor, with landscapers, with pool companies, whatever. I'm their guy. So when it comes down to buying or selling, or they got a cousin who wants to buy or sell or whatever, guess who's top of mind? I want to give you a quick option if you want help with this stuff, okay? So one, you could join our school community for free. There's resources down below for you to join. But more importantly, if you really want me to help you one-on-one for a limited time, and I do mean limited because I can't do this forever, I'm helping people one-on-one for free. You heard that correctly. I'm helping people one-on-one for free. It's called the 5-Day Freedom Challenge. Lead Freedom Challenge, sorry. And so on this challenge over 5 days, I literally walk with you step by step. We dive into your business. We see what you're doing right now. We help you set up your first ad campaign. We help you set up AI automations to help you with speed to lead and lead nurture sequences, so a lead never falls through the crack again. And then we help you based on your marketplace and your sales data, which you pull for us. We'll tell you the best front end offers and back end offers that you should be making in your space. Okay, so if you want to get on one of those challenges with me, it's 5 days, so you got to commit to this. It is free, but it's 5 days. You got to commit to it, and we can set you up. I only take on about 1 or 2 a week because it's one-on-one, it's live, it's not some pre-recorded stuff. Like, I'm literally getting on it live with you. So if you want to get access to more information and you want to sign up for the challenge, just go ahead and reply to this, either comment on the video challenge or shoot me a text message back or an email. I'm going to distribute this video in all kinds of different ways. So through whatever medium you're watching this, right? Just comment, shoot me a text, shoot me an email, and with the word challenge in it, and I'll tell you when our next available slot is. Now, we are a little bit backed up, but I'd love to see you inside of the challenge and help you really reshape the way that you make money in this game. Because if not, you're going to be beaten by somebody who can, because they can simply outspend you.